Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Justin. Welcome to Awkward Audio. Welcome to Awkward Audio. This is our first episode doing Awkward Audio since we were just a podcast. I'm leaving this all in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Awkward Audio. My name is Justin. I'm one of your hosts. To my right, the one and only White Buffalo, John Hooley. It's been a while since we've done this show. As I was saying, we used to be a awkward only podcast for a little while because my webcam decided to be a piece of shit on us. And I think we did 5 episodes.
And now we've decided to be awkward on all forms of media.
Mostly because SoundCloud was like, alright, you used up all the free space allotted to you, now you gotta pay us every month to do more. And I was like,
Fuck that.
I'd rather spend that money on some new equipment, and that's exactly what I did. I got us a new camera, I got us some lighting shit.
I'm
Same old
contributing my
microphone.
personality.
Yeah. So, first awkward audio in a long time. I get hiccups. Unlike Game Gab, where we talk about gaming stuff, this is about like us and pretty much anything not gaming. Specifically, this episode, movies. We recently saw Logan. We went to the midnight premiere. It was actually held at like 10:15. I kind of missed the midnight ones though, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of raises like the anticipation of it.
Well, they gotta be competitive though.
I suppose so.
I used to work in a movie theater, so I know that the reason why they used to have midnight premieres is because on the day that the movie is released, all movie theaters get the code to unlock the movie that they already have. So, movies over here, like, and where we're at, they say, oh, we're gonna release it before midnight at like 10, because technically the code's already out, because it's already midnight somewhere else. So it's really taking advantage of time.
Eastern time. Since we're Central time here in Texas. So, we went to the Logan premiere. You, me, and Whitney. It was awesome. Really cool movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Check it out. It's Hugh Jackman's and Patrick Stewart's send-off for the series. Not going to get into spoilers here. Really cool movie. I liked it a lot. You liked it a lot. Whitney liked it a lot. Your mom likes it a lot. Just go see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of feelings, I would definitely say, like a lot.
A lot of emotions.
And also it was like real acting.
Yeah.
Not your standard Superman, Batman, many other.
We didn't actually talk about it, but my favorite. Haha, you didn't get to hear any of that. So, what we are talking about, for you listeners out there, all millions of you, our fans, everywhere, across the world, is Logan got such a cool, R-rated, bloody, gory, violent treatment because Deadpool. What other series do you think should get the exact same treatment so that they won't suck anymore? Because all the other X-Men movies except for X-Men 2 were shit.
Alright, so my biggest suggestion, my big one here, is since Marvel is outstanding with production value on their films, typically, and also they really haven't had anything fall into that dark, like actually testing the actor or actress on it. I think a Natasha Romanoff movie for Black Widow would be pretty solid with the Logan treatment. Okay, for a lot of reasons.
That would never happen just because the Avengers is already so big, but that would be cool as hell.
Like, I'm just being real here, because, like, she does not have a pleasant backstory, okay? Like, it's not a happy-go-lucky
Just got
character.
a pleasant backside.
And, I mean, there's just, like, Scarlett Johansson, she's got the acting chops, okay? She could do a heavy movie. Okay, she has done heavy movies, but like on top of that, you have a character that would take to it really well. Okay, because I mean, can you imagine Thor in an R-rated movie? That'd be stupid. Okay? It'd be blunt force traumaing everything, and like, I mean, it would either look incredibly over the top gore or just not good at all.
I think it would depend on what it was
I
fighting.
don't feel like he's a super great like character either for like emotional depth.
But what if it's like a Civil War Thor? Like, what if it's straight up like gods fighting other gods? So like, what if it's like Game of Thrones, but everyone is really, really powerful? That could be pretty hardcore. I'm not saying Thor should be on the list. Like, I like Thor just because I think Chris Hemsworth does a good job being funny.
Yeah.
Especially those little side, little shorts about him living with some random human guy, you know? About Thor being like a crappy roommate. Have you seen any of them? They're pretty funny. You should check them out. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Black Widow.
But Black Widow, I think, would be the best for the R rating out of all the Avengers, in my opinion. Like Hawkeye, you know, I feel like as a character, you wouldn't get that satisfaction, you know, as you get with like Natasha Romanoff going ham on a room full of dudes. Okay.
Phrasing.
Satisfying no matter
She
how
could
you
kill a
think
woman too. She can murder both genders. Equality.
about it. Yeah. Well, either way.
It would be cool. I don't think it would ever happen just because Avengers is like such a phenomenon, you know? That like, you know, kids love it and parents are bringing the kids to it to go see it and they all watch it together and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it would happen unless it's like a few years down the road after Avengers is already cooled off and it's a totally separate side story in its own canon timeline.
Yeah. Well,
Because, like, to me, it sounds kind of like Machete. You know, Machete, the Danny Trejo movies, they're, like, really bloody and violent and lots of boobs and stuff.
Self-aware as to their bloody and violence, almost.
And it's technically in the same continuity world, whatever, as Spy Kids. Like, they've confirmed that he is playing the same character as Uncle Machete. But, like...
It's all made by Troublemaker.
Yeah, but, like, I mean... Spy Kids, you know, it's some crappy little kids series. I think you could get away with that. But something huge, especially now that Marvel's owned by Disney. Disney's never made an R-rated movie before. Marvel has, but like,
See, I don't know. I feel like Natasha Romanoff.
don't get me wrong, it would be cool. I just don't think it'll ever happen.
I could see it happening. Like, they've been talking about a Black Widow movie for so long, and I think they even pitched about the idea of it being R-rated.
It'll be another PG-13.
No, we doing it wrong then.
Probably, but like, Marvel's yet to have a really bad one come out. I mean, some of them have not been great, like Thor. Or the first Captain America. I didn't really care for the first one. But like, I don't think it'd be like, terrible.
And like, I mean, they've like hinted, I guess, towards how kind of messed up her childhood was in like Age of Ultron, where she was talking about how like in order to do her job, they sterilized her. You know, is it still sterilizing if it's a woman? Do you still call it sterilizing? Baronizing?
I assume they just took everything out.
Yeah, like hysterectomy the shit out of that. But like as it goes, like that's kind of a messed up thing to think about. The more you think about it, as to like her becoming what she is. She obviously didn't have a happy childhood up to this point. She's a messed up, tragic character. Mm-hmm. She deserves an R rating.
I agree, it'd be awesome. I just don't think it's ever gonna happen.
It's bullshit.
And if it did, it'd be years out.
What do you got?
Batman.
R-rated Batman?
Batman comics are already really bloody, you know, really violent. Some of them have gore to it, not usually like, you know, see guts fly out or anything, but like he'll come across a body or a crime scene and you'll see guts. So it's already there. And technically, they kind of had one already since Batman v Superman got the re-release with an R rating, but that movie sucked and doesn't really count. I want a genuine, from the ground up, this is an R-rated Batman. I want people that when villains murder people, it's like violent and nasty. I want when people are like genuinely frightened of Batman to yell fuck and shit and stuff like that. On the crime scenes he comes across to be really nasty and messed up and just disturbing.
And not just that, like, I mean, they say the great thing with superhero movies is the villain, but like, you can't do a Batman villain in PG-13. Like, you can't grasp the severity of a Batman villain in PG-13. Unless maybe Poison Ivy.
Heath Ledger did an amazing job as Joker, though.
Oh, definitely. Like,
he really nailed that one. But like, those were also set in a world that was far more grounded than traditional Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, like, can you imagine like trying to illustrate Killer Croc in PG-13? It happened. It sucked.
He was really tiny, really big head though.
Killer Croc.
Killer Clock.
Tick tick.
Calendar Man's new sidekick.
Sworn enemy of Captain Hook. Alright, Killer Croc needs to be 7, 8, 9 feet tall, okay? Built like a brick shit house, and he needs to bite people's heads off. That is supposed to be Killer Croc.
That, and while Heath Ledger did an awesome job as Joker, in a grand scheme Batman, like, that Joker was very tame. I mean, I've read a lot of the Batman comics. There was a whole arc where Joker, like, cut off his own face, and they had it stapled back on later. And there's a scene where he captures Batman and gasses him, I think it was. Batman wakes up, all the Robins throughout the years are sitting in chairs tied up, their faces all bandaged up and bloody. And Joker opens up like a platter and all their faces are laid out on it. And I'm just like, oh, damn. Like, there's no way this turned out to be real. And it wasn't. It was all a joke. Haha, joke. But like, even in a movie where it didn't turn out to be real, you wouldn't get that in a Batman movie now.
Yeah, once again, you cannot properly illustrate, in my opinion, a Batman villain in PG-13.
That and the movies haven't really nailed just how fucked up Gotham is. Like, Gotham is a messed up place. Some continuities actually have Gotham, like, it's been cursed and will always be this rotten piece of land. And in some, there's like a demon trapped, like, underneath Gotham that's poisoning it. There's some weird stuff out there in the comics.
I mean, like in the comic where Batman and Superman trade spaces, like they talk about, even with Superman's super speed, he couldn't stop all the crime in Gotham in a night. Mm-hmm. Okay. Meanwhile, Batman goes to Metropolis, and it's like, oh, there's pretty much like no robberies or, you know, bank stuff like that. It's like super villain, like grand evil junk pillaging around.
So yeah, I think an R-rated Batman would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be cool to just like have him take his grappling hook and shoot it through a dude. Not to kill him, like give him in the arm.
I guess. But I mean, we're getting closer to it because one, like I said, Batman v Superman re-releases R rating, and the last two Batman movie series were both M rated. Batman Arkham Knight was rated M.
You said Batman movie series.
I did what?
You didn't say video game. You said Batman movie series.
Whoops, I'm not editing that out either. And then also, the Telltale Batman series is rated M. And I've seen screenshots, you know, he comes across crime scenes with guts and stuff, and they're supposed to be a pretty steamy, I guess you could say, like sex scene between him and Catwoman. I don't know if it actually shows boobs or anything, but like, that's the first Batman game I can recall ever having a sex scene. And I beat, like, the other Arkhams. So I think we're getting to it, and this one could potentially happen. Mostly because one, DC is failing in their movies and they're falling way behind Marvel, and two, DC's not owned by Disney, and I think they'd be more willing to do such a thing, because the only reason Logan and Deadpool got away with it is because Sony owns the rights to the mutants, and not Marvel.
Makes sense.
That's why it was such a hullabaloo over Avengers 2 Age of Ultron actually getting two of the mutants, but they called them Enhanced instead. So yeah, what else you got?
Let's see.
You only came up with one?
I only came up with one because I really, really think that'd be the best one to do out of present.
I got another one. It might already be happening though. I've seen a single screenshot. Tomb Raider. We talked about it before in an earlier episode. I don't remember what it was about. I love the Tomb Raider reboot. It came out in 2012, I think. Don't quote me on that. Beat it twice. Awesome game. Love how gritty the survival is. Love the combat being like really violent and gory. She's got the little ice pick climber thing. She's like fucking gutting guys with it.
The game had good directing too, especially for just the natural hazards.
Yeah, like I mean, in the opening, you're hanging upside down next to a dead body, and then you have to like swing into it to catch it on fire, so it'll catch you on fire, and then you fall on a
piece of rebar.
Yeah, this piece of rebar that goes through you, and then you gotta pull yourself off of it, and then you're constantly hurt by it, and then like eventually later in the game you pass out from it, blah blah blah. It's like really dark and gritty and violent, and I know they're making a new Tomb Raider movie based off of that. Like I've seen the screenshot of the actress, I forget her name, wearing the exact outfit, the tan pants and the blue tank top and the bandage and everything. Don't know if it's gonna be R-rated though. They might still water it down. But if they didn't, such a, like you said, very visceral, very at times like hard to watch, make you clench, pucker your butthole type thriller, violence, pain stuff. I think we make a really, really good movie.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing we've learned from like The Revenant, people love to watch actors suffer.
That was a really good movie.
Never seen it.
You should. Leonardo DiCaprio, my boy Tom Hardy, Mad Max, just had him watch Fury Road. He's the bad guy. Tom Hardy.
But like one, you get to watch an actor or actress in this case suffer, which I think like also shows that diversity in the movie Logan. Like you do see the low and the high of acting as it goes, where you see like a character break and you see the character at its like peak, which is outstanding. That's what, in my opinion, makes a working movie and why Logan was so well done. But like I feel like, yeah, for what you're suggesting, if you have Lara Croft wounded, battered, beaten, broken, okay, at the bottom you actually have like, you're not afraid to show the pain, the agony, and all that stuff. Perfect.
Also, this being her origin story, this is the first time she ever kills anybody. And I remember the game, they couldn't focus on it for too long because, you know, you gotta move on to the next thing. But there was that moment of shock where she's like, I just murdered somebody, you know, like that's a body right there, and I did that. And I think that in a movie, especially for a character like Lara Croft, there's already been 2 or 3 movies with Angelina Jolie just, you know, using the dual-wield pistols or whatever, like she's Hitman. Would also be a new stretch and a really good way to humanize her is what, you know, one of the big draws of the games to me. Like it really made you relate for her.
Yeah, that and like the PG-13 Lara Croft action going on, like
she's fine as hell though.
Yeah, but like a lot of it was just doing its damnedest to avoid, and you know, her actually shooting people. So, but it's a movie about an actress who has constant conflict with people, and she just carries around 2 pistols. But they PG-13. Like, I'm really glad I feel like Deadpool started the ball rolling for a slow desensitization of things where they're not afraid to make R-rated.
Well, I mean, Deadpool did it for another superhero movie.
Yeah.
We already had R-rated video game movies. You know how many Resident Evils there are now? There's like a dozen.
Good R-rated movies. Like movies with a sound amount of production value. Because the Resident Evils, like, they definitely, if they cost anything, they cost too much for what you got.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Deadpool effect only applies to superhero movies thus far. It could go out into more, but video games are no stranger to violence. So what else you got? What's your second pick? Still.
Daredevil reboot.
That's never gonna happen either.
The first one failed so hard.
We've already got the Netflix series that's like adored by critics and fans, and is already pretty violent, pretty bloody as it stands. I like it a lot. I'm ready for season 3. Although it's probably just going to go straight to the Defenders first. These hiccups, man.
I wonder what superheroes are so underrepresented right now.
An R-rated Ghost Rider would be really cool too.
Yeah, you know they're going to take another run at Ghost Rider at some point.
I don't know. They've already done 2 by completely different directors. Like, I don't even think the first one's storyline was followed into the second one at all. I think they're just kind of, different set pieces. But I've always liked Ghost Rider, and I think he looks really cool. Until you just, see him really fuck up some, some low-life thugs or whatever. That can be pretty cool, too. Before it goes all angelic and demons and goes into the big plot.
Punisher reboot?
Nah. We've already had, 3 Punisher movies? All of which were already rated R. It doesn't have to be superhero movies.
Sucks Disney won't just suck it up and make an R-rated gritty Disney reboot.
Like what?
Well, if they weren't already doing it, Beauty and the Beast could be done fairly well.
I wouldn't see it. It's hard to imagine all the talking furniture and stuff in an R-rated movie.
Really?
Yeah. That and Snow White, they've already made the Snow White and the Huntsman bullshit that had a lot of, it's PG-13, but it had, a lot of warfare and fighting and swords and stuff. If I was gonna have Disney make an R-rated movie off one of their properties, I don't even know. I never really thought about it. I remember being surprised when they made a PG-13 movie when Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl came out, and then they had another one. And that what's the one with the John guy that goes to Mars?
Mars Needs Moms?
No.
I thought that was a Disney movie and it bombed.
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's like this cowboy guy. He goes to Mars. It's live action. He goes to Mars and he's like a gladiator. And he's really strong because Mars has less gravity. That one was PG-13 too. That's exactly what I said. Good job. And then also the really crappy Lone Ranger that they made was another PG-13 one.
Yeah, that was awful.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up then. This is our first awkward audio in a while. We came up with the topic as we were setting up. Let us know in the comments what movies you think would make good R-rated versions. Let Hooley know what the name of that show or movie was, because none of us can remember. Hit him up on Twitter.
John Carter of Mars. Maybe.
That could be it. That sounds kind of right. John Carter does. I'm not sure about of Mars. Anyway, hit him up on Twitter at Captain_Virgin. You get at me at Twitter at Reverend Schmitty. Let us know what you think. Let us know any topics you want us to cover in the future, because we're obviously having trouble thinking of them. And stay awkward. One movie, man? What the hell?
I didn't have a lot of time.
I had the same amount of time you did.
You're better at this than I am.
Want to play some Overwatch or something?
Yeah.